Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616, and for today's video I'll be releasing my review of Marvel's Captain America Civil War. The third installment of the Captain America trilogy, Civil War follows Cap and the other Avengers as, after the destruction of Sokovia in Age of Ultron, the government wants the Avengers to register with them so they can try to avoid any future unnecessary destruction. Cap, Falcon, Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch are opposed to this, as they feel the Avengers should operate independently and that they should have the freedom to choose whether they want to work for the government or not. However, Iron Man, Black Widow, Vision, War Machine, and new character Black Panther feel that the Avengers should be held responsible for the destruction that results in their fights, and should be put under check. And after Cap's old friend, now brainwashed assassin Bucky returns, things heat up and the civil war between Avengers begins. One of the great things about this movie is that neither side is really wrong. Both Steve and Tony make good points to their side of the arguments throughout, making choosing a side pretty difficult in the end, which makes it much more interesting. Now, if you've watched my top 10 MCU fight scenes part 2 video, you might have guessed I like Civil War. And if you did, you'd be right. While the movie definitely isn't perfect, I think that it is the best movie Marvel has made to date. The film's directors, Joe and Anthony Russo, along with the screenwriters Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus, they really outdid themselves here. This movie is filled with equal amounts of darker, more emotional moments and light, humorous ones. And despite it being filled with a cast of well over 15 notable characters, it succeeds where Age of Ultron failed, and gives each one of them exactly the amount of screen time and attention they needed. Amazingly, no one feels like they're left out, and they all feel like they made exactly the contributions to the story they needed to, even if some have much smaller roles than others. The new characters, including Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Zemo, are all great. Black Panther almost steals the entire movie. Everything from Chadwick Boseman's performance, to his voice, to his costume is beyond pitch perfect, making him one of the most entertaining things about this movie. Following on a close second is the introduction to Marvel's version of Spider-Man, who is much more comic accurate in a lot of ways than those who have come before. Spidey does not get nearly as much screen time as Black Panther. However, like T'Challa, he steals every scene he is in, as he's played perfectly by Tom Holland, who manages to inject new life into the endangered Spider-Man film franchise. As for Zemo, as a character he is quite different than his comic book counterpart, so much so that I may do a comics versus movies episode on him. Marvel's movies have a sad tendency to have generic one-off villains, as almost the entirety of Phase 2 will tell you. However, Zemo is a step in the right direction for Phase 3. While his actual plan is a bit confusing, it is crystal clear why he is doing what he's doing, and he's even sympathetic in a lot of ways. However, I can't just endlessly praise Civil War. It's a fantastic movie, but as I said before, it has its flaws. It is, at times, a bit too lighthearted, and while I won't spoil the exact ending, it did leave a lot to be desired, in my opinion. The movie is able to blend its emotion and humor extremely well, but sometimes it felt like some things didn't get the right amount of time. But despite that, it is still a great movie, which is why I give it a 4.5 out of 5. The only real concern Civil War left me with was if Infinity War will be able to beat it. But I'd like to know what you thought. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, only 12 days now until Luke Cage. Also, stay tuned for the next episode for a special announcement regarding Luke Cage.
The crown. Wanna know why? Because everybody wants to be the king.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son. Big up Bartolini, meeny, money, mo, and flower, you're the chosen one.